I have arrived. And today, as you can see in the background already, we're going to be playing Gods Online, which is going to be a mistake. You know, because clearly it's a great idea when you have a call to play a video game where you need to talk and read a lot. But I have never said I was smart. There we go. Actually, no. Was enough? I think that was enough. Now, on brand. On brand. And I have actually arrived right as the ad is coming to an end. Sick. So, today's thing to do is Isolation Forest. We have mail. What do we have mail? Probably just daily login. Yeah. And maintenance reward. Nothing creepy going on here this time. Not like with that other event. Oh. Fucking bitch. Hey Lam, how are you doing? I am not a fox though. Okay, it's a relatively short event this time. New content? Very much new content. The second to last event in the game. Yippee. Yeah, this is all just stuff that we've already seen in the last events. This is essentially like a compendium that you can look through. Well... An overture for apoptosis. I don't know this person. That's rare. New characters being introduced this late? It's almost like we had a new character being introduced last event. Habit. Which turns out to be a Paradeus unit. Again. Also, I still have a cold, as mentioned in the title. I know that my voice won't sound as good as usual. So it's doubtful whether or not it sounds good at all. But yeah. Overture for apoptosis. Good afternoon. It is currently 15:30 Frankfurt time on November 3rd. Welcome to the news. First, let us return to the hotly discussed topic of the regulation for doll security, provisional version. Following the wave of terror incidents perpetrated by dolls, the Ministry of Justice expediting the revisions and improvements to the next iteration of regulations for doll security. It is expected to be submitted for committee approval by the end of this month. This move is seen as a strong signal to the public that doll oversight policies will be tightened significantly. Sources that report that news of the regulations slightly transition from provisional to permanent has sparked widespread joy among citizens who have taken to the streets in spontaneous celebration. Now let us join our correspondents on the scene. Hello, I'm currently standing outside the Johannes Gutenberg University of Mainz. With government dispatched human personnel arriving on site, many hospitals in this area have now resumed normal operations. We can see right now that there's a considerable crowd gathered outside the hospital. After hearing about the new progress on the regulations for doll security, provisional version, many people have spontaneously gathered here to celebrate. Let's speak to some of them and hear what the regulations mean to them. Hello there. Hello, could you share your thoughts on the regulations potentially becoming official? Absolutely, the regulations benefit me directly. A few months ago, I hired a nanny doll to care for my child. Over time, my child became increasingly distant from me. At first, I thought I was just too busy with work and neglected their feelings. But after installing surveillance cameras on the home, I discovered that the doll had been mimicking my voice behind my back, abusing my child, and even claiming it was under my orders. A doll did that. That's truly awful. But after going through the screening and optimization procedures outlined in the regulations, the nanny doll no longer does anything unnecessary. My relations with my child has improved a lot. I'm genuinely happy for you, ma'am. Sir, may we ask your opinion? A man in a hospital gown, his face gone with illness, tucks a folded slip of paper back into his pockets, and then nervously looks into the camera. Me? I'm a terminal cancer patient, bedridden for a long time. I used to suffer at the hands of medical dolls. Their attitudes were cold, their behavior robotic, and they had zero regard for my dignity. The emotional toll was severe. Since the implementation of the regulations for doll security, I've finally felt the warmth, the meticulous care of fellow human beings again. Speak more naturally, you sound way too stiff. Dolls are machines, after all. Only humans truly understand what humans need. That's why I believe the regulations must be made permanent immediately. I fully support it. Thank you both for your responses now. A pile of miscellaneous items get tossed out of the hospital's front doors. They seem to be office supplies. Next, several people in white lab coats come running out like their lives depended on it, fleeing down a side street in panic. Get out! Scram as far away as you can! An enraged woman storms out after them, shouting down the street. Stop messing around in the hospital. Just because the government crammed you through a few crash courses doesn't mean you can do this job. One mixed up gentamicin with penicillin, another turned an IV prescription into an oral one, and even better yet, one gave a 3-year-old with diarrhea 20 tablets of ceftobiprole in a day. Still fuming, the woman notices a poster supporting the regulations formalization stuck near the entrance. Her fury flares up again, and she rips down the poster and stomps on it repeatedly. Hey, I just put that up. Does this still count towards my paycheck? Shut up, the camera's still on. Hearing the exchange, the woman directs a sharp and murderous glare at the group. Who are you people? Ma'am, I'm a reporter with the Current Affairs news segment. A reporter? The anger vanishes instantly from her face. She strides toward the camera and beams warmly into the lens. Hello, I'm currently interviewing citizens about the potential formal adoption of the regulations for doll security, provisional version. What is your perspective? Noticing the reporter's hesitation as she offers the mic, the woman snatches it right out of her hand. Oh, I'm totally in support of such a great initiative. Sure, dolls are cheap, efficient, quick, reacting, professionally competent, stay sharp 24/7, but even without them, hospitals have only descended into a slight chaos, haven't they? Ma'am, the government has dispatched over 100 trained personnel to each major hospital to fill the labor shortage. Don't you think your response is a bit... The reporter tries to retrieve the mic, but the woman sidesteps it deftly. Yes, the government rushed out a batch of medical personnel in just 3 days, truly a timely solution to our burning problems. Had I known humans could become doctors in 2-3 days, I wouldn't have wasted my time getting a PhD. Ma'am, the interview is now over. Please return to... You asked me plenty of questions. Isn't it my turn to ask one? Huh? You, and you. All of you who come to hospitals seeking doctors and nurses. Would you really entrust your own surgery to a temp worker you can't even tell the difference between forceps and a hemostat? Would you really entrust your loved ones in the ICU to someone who spent only 3? The reporter panics and tries to flee from the raging woman, but once the dam of fury has burst, it's impossible to hold it back. Where are you going? I'm not finished! Station, cut the signal, now! Thank you for the live interviews brought to us by on-site correspondents. There seems to be a bit of commotion at the scene. Now, let's focus on the important conference about to take place in Frankfurt. Genetics Archive Room, the Faculty of Medicine, Johannes Gutenberg, University of Mainz. Footsteps, still heavy with anger, come to a stop outside the door. The moment the door swings open, a cacophony of heated voices burst forth. What do you mean the funding of the UNC has nothing to do with us? An entity that transcends national alliances means the end of all existing technological barriers. This marks the beginning of an unprecedented golden age for medicine and the science as a whole. I pity your naive idealists. If alliances between nations really worked, why would we have 3 world wars? The UNC is nothing more than a flashy facade. You can't seriously think it will actually change the world. The world progress is precisely through these small changes. Do you really think... Ah, Constance. Oh, Constanze. How it would be in German. Your voice is great. Maybe not right now, but still. I don't know. I find my voice pretty average. Standing at the doorway, back in hand, Constanze seems to have no intention of entering the archive room. Constanze, we're discussing the impact that the UNC could have on medical science. Do you have any insights? My insights? Constanze smiles gently. The preliminary thesis presentation are in 2 days. Are your slideshows ready? No, not yet. I don't know. Maybe I just know too many people that have even more impressive voices. I don't need to remind you of the consequences of annoying your Professor Lörrach, do I? Sorry. The archive room quite quickly returns to its proper silence. Constanze picks up a bag and leaves. Once the door closes behind her, Constanze breathes in a fresh air of the corridor. Is there nowhere left in this world where I can find some peace and quiet? Everyone's obsessed with the regulations for doll security and the UNC. What good is any of that to the kids who can't even finish a research thesis proposal? Shaking her head to dispel these distracting thoughts, Constanze gathers herself and knocks on her advisor's office door. Come in. Professor, here's the material you asked me to organize yesterday. Also, I've already finished editing Thomas's thesis. I sent it to your inbox around 9 AM this morning. Good, I'll take a look shortly. Still as reliable as ever. Only you can handle all these headaches perfectly. You flatter me, Professor. Oh, by the way, Professor Lörrach pulls out a few sheets from the towering stack of documents on the desk and hands them to Constanze. Your lab application has been approved. That's great! Thank you so much, Professor. You're one of the rare few willing to stay focused on academia even in these tumultuous times. You must be aware that all anyone talks about lately are things far removed from us. As someone who lived through the war, I hope my students never get involved with politics. It's not a burden that young people with nothing but passion should bear. They're too young, too easily swayed. They know too little, and there are too many out there who want to exploit them. It's all thanks to your guidance, Professor. With you as my role model, I've learned how to move forward. Heh, you sweet talker. Have you decided on your research direction? The tentative idea is to construct a recombinant adenovirus expressing the adoptin protein. Words? Or apoptin protein. That's not exactly cutting edge. You can take more time to think about it. The lab equipment is good enough to support a wide range of projects, and the budget is decent too. Okay, I'll come up with a few more ideas. When you're free, I hope I can take a bit of your time, of your valuable time to discuss them. Of course, no problem at all. Then I won't disturb you any further. After politely bidding Mensa farewell, Constanze exhales in relief as she walks down the corridor. All done. She eagerly dials in an old friend. Nele! Oh, Nele actually has a oh. Now that I think about it, this is probably the friend that Nele was referring to in the last event. Also, let me just quickly do something. Because I do have something to drink here. I'm just going to put it in the... Because would you imagine? It's warm. And a warm drink, unless it's supposed to be warm, isn't nice. Not so loud, Connie. You scared the crap out of me. I can't help it. I've got amazing news. The lab application just got approved. That's wonderful. Now we can finally start prepping for the experiment we haven't been able to complete. You have no idea how long I've been dreaming of this day. Same here. I think Naylor is a little bit preoccupied right now. All things considered. Unless this is a look to the past. What's wrong? You don't sound excited. It's nothing, I just... getting emotional. Back when we were sneaking around doing our experiment without permission, we nearly got flagged for BSL-4. Can't believe we're actually getting closer to our dream now. Don't worry, you and I will finish that experiment. You know, the moment I saw you in the lab back then, I knew no challenge could deter you. When I brought up the idea to you back then, I thought for sure you'd say no. After all, if we get caught running the experiments that don't match our proposal, you could get seriously punished. Don't worry, I've got it covered. What, getting cold feet now? That's not like you at all. I'm just worried you'll get dragged down because of me. I don't have much to lose, but you have a bright future ahead of you. Oh, cut it out. I know what you're trying to say, that you've got family to fall back on if things go bad, and I don't. But I don't care about any of that. I'm an orphan raised on the government's dime, and that's exactly why I'm not afraid of anything. What could possibly be more moving than... could be more moving than the pursuit of truth? Slight grammar issue, but not a big deal. You're right. Nothing in this world can obscure the truth. Even if Darwin had repented on his deathbed, the theory of evolution would not be undone. Bruner's body might have perished, but his insight would never waver. So what? Now that we're closer to the truth, you want to back down? Nail it, that really isn't like you. You're braver than I am. Don't tell me you're still shaking from what happened with Galatea. You can save your reverse psychology. I know what you're getting at. Thank you. I hope you do. Got your materials and data ready? Yeah, everything's set on my end. Great. When are you free? Let's meet up and finalize the experiment. Sure, Connie. I've got something to finish first. Let's talk later. Alright, I'm always online. Naylor puts on the communicator. Across from her, the commander scratches their head uneasily. I got the lab sorted. The commander can't bring themselves to meet her steady gaze. Now all that's left is the materials. Their eyes settle on the door handle in front of them, but neither moves to open it. Gray... What's left of her is in there. Honestly, I can send someone else to take care of this. No. Naylor rests a trembling hand on the handle. She doesn't look at the commander. Maybe she's trying to convince herself. I understand what you're asking. If Paradeus is to be completely destroyed, we need the perfect bullet that can strike it right in the heart. Even if a doll has top-tier electronic warfare capabilities, infiltrating their system to gather actionable intel comes at an unimaginable cost. Right now, only my teacher can do it. No, I probably shouldn't even call her that anymore. Think of her as a cadaveric donor, or an insult to the Lady of Ashes. Whatever she is, she has to rise again and fight for us. If this has to be done by someone, then let this someone be me. The commander, at a loss for comforting words, can only sigh. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a really bad feeling about this. An insult to the Lady of Ashes rise again. They're not trying to put Grey into her body, are they? If that's your decision, then Professor Persica will assist you with the technical aspects. She's already integrated Hume's human intelligence research with Dr. Shaw's research. Should be enough to support this experiment. Right. Thank you. Naylor looks up at the commander with a small smile. To be given a chance to avenge my professor personally. Commander, I truly am grateful. We both have tough battles ahead of us. Please don't worry. I'll prove myself as Professor Gray's most exceptional student. Nada pulls down the door handle. In the temporary ops room. After assembling the all combat-capable dolls, A-18 projects a map of the entire city of Frankfurt onto the screen. Commander, everyone is ready. Right. After evacuating from the White Zone, we've had a few brief days to catch our breath. Let's go over everyone's recovery status. Commander, Sub 2 has completed their repairs. All the parts are currently replaced with general-purpose substitutes. They should suffice for standard combat. So the AR team is ready to return to the field. You bet, I've been asleep for so long, I'm feeling super refreshed now. I am struggling to make voices. Understood. Defiance also as ready as ever. Unfortunately, 416 still can't be activated. Aside from her, the rest of 4-4 is ready for action at any time. There haven't been any casualties on our end. For now, we're focused on assisting 4-4 with electronic warfare. Got it. Everyone, we're running out of time. The commander presses a button on the remote control, and several red markers light up on the Frankfurt map. These are locations of the Paradeus factories we've identified based on our current intel. 45 hacked into the energy sector and verified the data. These sites are consuming an absurd amount of power and water in short time. On top of that, all the waste output is handled by the same shell company. No ordinary civilian enterprise would ever run with such an operational model. Following that lead, we uncovered even more factories. Additionally, ever since we extracted the commander from the White Zone, resource consumption at these factories has spiked again. Which means they ramped up production. As for what they're producing, I think you can all guess. No doubt something to do with those disgusting monsters. So what do we do? With the manpower we've got, there's no way we can hit them all by one by one. A-18 raised a hand, gesturing for everyone to stay quiet and let the commander finish. You're right. Since we still haven't recovered the ammo, we're in a state of extreme personnel shortage. That's why I decided on this plan. The commander taps at the control a few more times, and a new layout appears on the screen. This is our next plan. Even after such massive losses, and with the connection to the Lake of Cognition still severed, we're continuing with the original strategy. Sister Nemrin must have her reasons. All we need to do is obey. Nemrin watches the two before her coldly. All the factories in Frankfurt are running at full capacity to power the repair of the passage to the Lake of Cognition. It won't be long before it's operational again. Exactly, I knew you must have your reasons. You mobilized all other forces in Frankfurt while it was still in the dark. I don't need to explain my reasoning to you. Of course, this one will just follow your lead. I'm not questioning you. I'm just worried that after so many operational errors, the system might be overloaded and starting to misfire. That's none of your concern. Mordo and Brambit exchange a knowing eye roll and leave the room together. Nemrin picks up a communicator, which has been on call the entire time. Any issues on your end? Not at all. Though I heard you know who is now in position. Behind Nemrin, a lithe figure slips into the seat at the office desk and starts casually spinning on a chair. Oh, fuck off. Never mind, that's someone else entirely. Hi, Assistant Nemrin. Long time no see. Long time no see, Styx. Styx? I only know the guard dog of Styx, and that one was... Well, we've destroyed her. Or the guard dog to hell, I guess. It's not Romy, is it? Now that I think about it, that figure just now might have been Romy. Which is another character in this entire thing. Stasi HQ. The display shows that the meeting in the designated office has already started. At this moment, there's complete silence. Amorous drops her disheveled hair, puts on a cap, and enters the conference room. Sorry, I'm a little late. It's fine, the meeting hasn't started yet. Sterling glances at the empty seat opposite of her. The person who was supposed to chair the weekly meeting is absent. What do we do now? Do we still have the meeting? Jay is still missing. So what now? No one's in charge? Good news, no direct supervisor, which means we can skip work. Amorous stretches lazily. I heard Q will be taking over command later on. Who? That overtime maniac. Great, Q is way more reliable than Jay. Bad news, from now on we'll be on standby 24/7. The door opens again and Q enters the conference room. Q gazes from door to door with amusement. From the looks of your faces, you already know I'll be taking over. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry about that. Yes, I've already made the announcement. Then I won't waste any time. You all worked with me before and know my style. Q drops a stack of documents on the table. Time to take some of the work out of my hands, ladies. Dagmar, Edith, you two continue searching the Elmo. Get me something useful from it. Yes, ma'am. Dagmar and Edith take the 2 search warrants handed out to them and leave the office. Brigitte, I've assigned a new agent to replace Jay in the White Zone. Go handle the handover. Is it a complete handover? Are we handing everything over to this person? No, just give him enough to hold the position for now. Got it. Brigitte leaves, takes the permit to the end of the White Zone and also leaves. Studying, please submit the paperwork for transferring the Doll Squad's command for me. I've already filled it out. Just look it over while you're on the way. Understood. Just like that, only Q and Amorous remain in the conference room. Amorous blinks, looking at the now empty table. Then she glances at Q across from her. What about me? Do I get a holiday? You wish. Q opens the paper bag she has brought, pulls out 2 cups of coffee, and pushes one over to Amorous. Amorous, I have a question for you. Seeing that the question is important enough for Q to treat her to a coffee, Amorous straightens up in her chair. About Daybreak? Yes, but more importantly, about Daybreak's designer, Dr. Marta Meitner. That's not really a question you should be asking me. I've had very little contact with her. The only thing she's left me is probably my name. You never had direct contact with her? No, I've never met her. Not just me, none of the other members of Daybreak Squad had any contact with her during the NeuroCloud activation tests, except for Aliana. Did Aliana ever talk about Dr. Meitner? Yes, Aliana had the most contact with her. She said Dr. Meitner was the most calm and rational human she had ever met, and was always clear on what she needed and wanted to do, and capable of ruthlessly eliminating any obstacles. Hello, Ritsu. I forgot to turn on the thing that lets it automate. 1 second. Me stupid. Yeah. How are you doing, Ritsu? There we go. Let me just test. Test. Eat part. Eat pork. Yeah. Very good. But she wasn't sure whether that was a good thing or a bad thing for a human being. Sounds like Aliana had a relative positive impression of her. Dr. Miner used to work for the US Relics Agency. Do you know why she left? No. I didn't even know about that part of her career. Did you know that she was the target codenamed Capita in the operation carried out by Daybreak Squad in 2051? Everything I need an hand to craft 230mm shells need for the quest. That's... honestly, you should probably do it. It blocks you from doing other quests. If you have the material, just do it. It's annoying, but... I wasn't aware. The background information on the target was classified as top secret. Do you know about Project Valkyrie? All I know is that it was connected to some small cult. Something about posing as a saint to deceive believers and scam them out of their money. You read that in a tabloid? Pretty much. While Q lapses into thoughts, Amaris sips her coffee. So my mission is to investigate Dr. Marta Meitner. Amaris, you know we have no authority over you. You are free. Which means you have full control over your investigation. After all these years, you guys are still playing word games with me. Okay, so all my upcoming missions are considered personal operations, yeah? Will I still be paid then? It's the taxpayers' money. Just take it. Bakasura? Oh. Hang on a second. That's weird. What? Automated what? Hang on a second. That is really weird. I can't even say what that person said. Despite the fact that I have FFZ running that is supposed to show me that. Thank you for the adbuds. PMC are hard. No, you can't break the legs. It's not that bad. You can do some other things. I was about to give him a tip, but I am confused about something else that happened there. I think it should be here. I don't know. Anyway. Also, do you look behind the quest, right? No, they're not. What's behind that quest is, in fact, only the Vox 17. What is blocked behind that quest now is the unlock quest for the RPG. Because I'm going to give you a little bit of a help right here. I'm going to send you a screenshot. Now, I have just realized something. Something will be painful. In order to make this work semi-reliably, you want the fastest fusion grenades you can get, which is probably Vox 25s, and they're probably very expensive right now. Also, you have to go to the factory. Make of that what you will. Let me just quickly... I'll send you a screenshot that I've just made. Are you talking about the green? Yeah, that's what I'm doing on the old Stash of Vox 25s. That's the best thing to do. I just send you a screenshot, but hey, you did already know about the green box, so yeah. It can also work with other grenades. It's just a little fucky. Also, you essentially have to just chuck it from the top floor through a window. Can be a little bit funky, but best way to do it. I do remember that when I did that, I sometimes randomly hit the door, the window frame, and the grenade will come back at me though. So, yeah. Anyway, back on focus. Satisfied with the answer, Amorous sits up straight. Then state your request. I don't care about the mission regarding Capita. I just want to know what Project Valkyrie really is, and how it's connected to the Oberstein family and Paradeus. Obviously, all signs point to one person. Exactly. That's why you're the most suitable doll to handle this. I understand. Bottom line is, what I do from now on is entirely my personal action and has nothing to do with the Stasi. Should I say I'm doing this on the to avenge Aliana? What a freaking joke. Good thing she won't ever hear a word of it. As a sole survivor of Daybreak Squad, how do you feel now? Like I got MVP, there's no one around to clap for it. Not that hard. I've tried a couple of times yet. No kills yet. Yeah. The important thing is to get it past that little divider wall. Q returns to office, where Stasi agent has been waiting. Agent Q, all the surveillance footage from the Wine Zone terrorist incident have been compiled. All losses have also been tallied. Q takes a file and flips through it casually. Did you go through all the footage during the time Jay went missing? Any findings? Jay disappeared alone in the footage. The feed was hacked during that period. We're still trying to restore it, but the text says chances are slim. Also missing that time frame are Frau Marlene from Residence SO83 and former Health Minister Vogt's granddaughter Cornelia Schäfer. Have you made contact? Frau Marlene could not be reached, while Frau Cornelia Schäfer claimed that she had made it out without no issue. Look into this Cornelia Schäfer. She was already investigated while in Berlin. Agent K handled it. Alright, leave the rest to me. Yes, ma'am. The agent salutes and exits the office. Q turns to Hoffman, who hasn't glanced at the agent once. This incident is likely just what the director needed. You can make a big play out of this. Don't make me sound like a villain. The timing of this accident is a major bargaining chip in itself. The closer we are to victory, the calmer we must be. Work just keeps piling up like snow. I haven't even finished what's in hand, and more keeps coming in. Don't try ours. Why not? What? So, should we prioritize? That's why I'm here. Then what's our most urgent task? Wrapping up the Wide Zone terrorist attack, we need to feed something to the Garrison Regiment. The director says you have free reign to handle it as you see fit. Alright. That's one of the scariest things in the workplace, being given full responsibility without any clear instructions. Can agree. That doesn't even have to be like anything secret of it. It's just like, oh yeah, we just want it to work, don't care how. Fuck. Just on the link. Links are usually alright. However, if you send a bad link, I'm gonna personally ban you. Yeah, that's a YouTube link. I am curious. That's funny. They are scarier things. The Director has more important matters to attend to than the Stasi right now. So you... Yeah, okay, I genuinely believe that whoever was interacting with Nemrin was probably Romy. Now. So you're to take full temporary charge of Stasi affairs. Congratulations, Agent Q. More work, same pay. What's there to congratulate? Save it for when she finally treats me to the lunch that she still owes me. Q downs a coffee and tosses the cup into the trash. Hoffman pats on the shoulder and leaves the office. Encrypted conference room. After initiating the encrypted communication link, Hoffman leisurely brews himself a cup of coffee. Agent K, long time no see. How have you been? Still alive. Still as concise and straightforward as ever. What do you want from me? Just checking in on you. How are you getting on with Chairwoman Ulrich? It's both smooth and rough. I hope that's not some kind of wordplay. The Chairwoman has her own position, one that's unshakable. But as an ambitious and capable woman, she's not willing to be confined to a cage either. Sounds like she's still swaying between the two sides of the scale. Then, as an excellent Stasi agent, do you have any advice, Agent K? The Chairwoman has a good impression of Frau Romy. Now I'm starting to contemplate the possibility of having the Director seduce her in person. Herr Hoffman, our calls are recorded. Go on. Frau Romy's past collaboration with the Ministry of Finance really impressed her. She even uncharacteristically brought up the background of certain individuals, including those she had worked with back then. None of them are staunch localists. In the Chairwoman's words, they put the interest of the state over any party interest. Which really means that they care about more about personal interest than collective ones. The reason they seem hesitant is mainly because Frau Romy is a woman. If she were a man, they'd be very happy to follow. Unfortunately, as a woman, Frau Romy isn't good at taking advice. Ulrich is certainly more successful than a Director. But on the flip side, they don't fear Ulrich, while they do fear Frau Romy. After all, Frau Romy is the daughter of General Riefenstahl. Barring her from the military has always been a consensus. So these people are the weakest link. That's what the Chairwoman thinks. Then what does Chairwoman Ulrich want? She's unsatisfied with her current local position, but she's also unwilling to pay the price of being promoted to central government. The only one who can give her the promises she needs is General Secretary Gross. Which is why her veiled question was whether Frau Romy is backed by the General or the Secretary. If it's the General, she'll likely maintain her current stance, but if it's the Secretary, then her position may begin to shift. Understood. I'll report the irrelevant intel immediately. As for the task assigned by the Director, please keep at it. I will keep my eyes wide open. Hoffman ends the call, and once again hurried footsteps echo through the corridor. Nayla's apartment. Nayla opens the door and steps inside, followed by Constanze carrying some takeout. Connie, make yourself at home. Oh, this place isn't bad at all. It's pretty spacious. Looks like it could fit 2 or 3 people. Yeah, I figured I might need to store a lot of materials for experiments, so I got a place with extra room. Nice. Give me a little tour. Sure, this is the living room. Haven't got much furniture yet. Kitchen's over there. Just moved in a few days ago, so the fridge is still empty. I'll bring you some fresh veggies and fruit next time. There's a supermarket near the university that always has great deals. Thanks, Connie. And this is my bedroom, study, and the storage room. You locked the storage room. Yeah, it's too messy inside. An ominous noise comes from the storage room. It's Jay. It's Jay. 100% it's Jay. Speaking of the decor, what do you want to... I have no idea because I don't know. I think there's a rat in there. A rat? There's been a rat infestation in Frankfurt lately. I remember you're scared of rats. This one sounds big. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Constanze rolls up her sleeves, but Nayla grabs her arm. I'm not afraid of rats anymore. We used to see them all the time in Berlin. I've gotten used to it. Really? I remember back when we finished tending to the lab mice, we saw a rat about 12 centimeters long outside the dorm. Your face was white as a sheet. I've grown since then. Nayla pulls Constanze back to the living room. Didn't you say you needed my documents to finish registering the lab? I'll give them to you now. Just help me get it done when you have time. Sure. By the way, you need to register your fingerprint for lab access. Remember to do that when you drop by. Got it. I've got class soon. Eat while it's still hot, okay? I have to head out. So soon? Can't you at least take a few bites before you go? I already ate. I just want to check on you and show you the best takeout near the University of Mainz. Constanze gathers your documents and Nayla hands over. By the way, Nayla, I haven't asked you yet. Why do you suddenly want to restart the experiments? And you said our research direction has changed. Changed how? Let's talk about that in detail once we're in the lab. Nayla averts her gaze awkwardly. She looks blatantly suspicious, but to Constanze. Aren't you going to be late? Crap, class starting in 15 minutes. Gotta go. Alright, be careful on the way. Constanze bolts out the door like a gust of wind. Nayla buttons up her takeouts and heads towards the storage room where the noise came from. She opens the door. The inside is stagnant and heavy, like a silent refusal. The room is utterly still and deathly silent. Jay? On the chair where Jay should be sitting lies only a frayed piece of rope. A chill runs through Nayla. She quickly and calmly gives Mia a call. Mia, Jay is missing. I've captured Agent Jay from beneath the window. Give me 5 minutes, I'll return immediately. God damn it. 5 minutes later, Agent J is back in the room and is in his familiar seat. Only this time, the rope has been replaced with chains. I'll go heat up the food. You two talk. Mia leaves the room. I hope you didn't go to all this trouble just to get back at me for threatening you back in the Stasi. Did you collude with the commander to kidnap me? So now you're my prison guard. I'm not good at lying, so don't ask me. I won't answer any of your questions. Did the commander use some kind of machine on you? Threaten you with me, drugs, brainwashing? Can you please speak scientifically? But nothing about this is scientific. You must have been tricked. Jay cuts Nayla off without hesitation. I wasn't tricked. I know exactly what I'm doing. You've got to be tricked. Why else would a researcher with your prospects, your status, be messing around with some doomed PMC commander? I have my reasons. Then tell me, what are your reasons? Aidan. Aidan wasn't your fault. That was Gray's fault, Galatea's fault. Stop blaming yourself for what others did. Professor Gray wasn't at fault. You still believe in that woman even now? The fact that you just said that proves I've made the right choice. I won't let her name be smeared, not even after her death. Nigga offers new nades. Interesting. Professor Gray was used. What exactly did the commander tell you? How could they drag a civilian to something this dangerous? I'm telling you, that commander has gone rogue, and you can't follow them down that path of insanity. You barely made it out of that fire alive. What are you... Why are you walking right back into it? Answer me, Nele! I saw Professor Gray's body. It wasn't human. She hadn't been human for a long time. A tear falls. Nele starts weeping. Now Jay is at a loss for what to do. You knew, didn't you? You knew Professor Gray had long ceased to be human. You have no idea what you're talking about. You don't even understand what kind of horrors you're going up against. I will understand. Don't do this, Nele. I know you're grieving, but don't do anything foolish. And what are you to me? What right do you have to tell me what to do? Because I know what it's like to lose someone dear. Because there was a similar fool in the Stasi. We literally just went through this 2 weeks ago. He's talking about light, damn it. Fucking legend. It wasn't even part of his job, but he still gave himself up to those monsters for something stupid. Isn't the Stasi a spy organization? Yes, everyone knows we're spies with no principles who have sold our souls to the devil. But that fool, he still cared about his so-called honor. He still held onto the Stasi's duty and mission. He even had ideals. It's laughable. In 2064, he still dared to speak of ideals. Even most Stasi agents didn't believe they had any ideals. And that idiot. Jay trails off mid-rant. Do you genuinely think he was a fool? In this day and age, all idealists are short-lived fools. Seeing Jay's tears, Nele doesn't quite know what to do either. Mia silently sets the reheated food at the door. Nele brings it inside awkwardly. I don't know about others, but if you keep this up, you're going to die real soon. Just save your energy. I'm not letting you leave this place. And since that's the way it is, how about lunch first? Yes, if you want to live, eat properly. Nele brings over a small table and sets it in front of Jay, then opens the takeout for him. Jay looks up at the mushy mess in front of him and rolls his eyes. See, I told you there's no future with Griffin. Even their takeout looks pathetic. I may gripe about the Stasi, but at least their food and coffee are decent. That's my food. If you're going to complain, you'll be having heart attack for every meal from now on. What's going on with these people? Those 40 months of script are found to be very important. The thing is that Nele is a returning character from multiple events. And Jay is as well. Well, Jay has been for years now. Actually, Nele has been years ago, like a year or two ago as well. However, the other person was new. F1 with 1.2 fuse. Oh, that's spicy. The Fruits of Wrath. Inside a Paradise factory. End of transmission going on. Yep. Enjoy. In a quiet room, Ashley reviews the wiring layout and projected output of the new facility. It's Saber's dedicated channel. Please go ahead. Sister Ashley, I am calling to update you on our progress. Have you finished taking stock of Sister Haber's factories? Yes, including all the facilities in Frankfurt, and subtracting what's already been used for the White Zone, we have around 1,000 units of manpower in reserve. That still isn't enough to meet the requirements of the plan. Sister Haber's already ordered full-scale production across all factories. At this pace, we expect to make up about 500 manpower units and matching White-class weapons within a week. Then the plan proceeds as scheduled. What about the production line for the epiphyllums? As the key part of the plan, production of the epiphyllum is also nearly complete. This music is great, by the way. It's also why I used the music at the start. Well, the big version. The full version. Sister Ava has produced extra batches as backups. Good. I'm still wrapping up inventory in the new factory here. Once that's done, I'll send you the final report. Understood. Anything else? Sister Heba asked me to pass along a message to Sister Nemran. She's found a lead on the rat's hiding place. Got it. I'll inform Sister Nemran immediately. Once the call ends, Ashley compiles a conversation and hands the summary to Nemran behind her. Upload it to the Beasting system. Yes, sister. Ashley activates the Beasting system and inputs the authorization code. Sister Nemran, I've completed the data entry. Once you approve, we can begin the upload. Any difficulties with the new encryption protocols after the system overhaul? None. It just takes a little getting used to. The Beasting system now requires dual authentication for every action. A bit more troublesome, but definitely more secure. Good. You're dismissed. Yes, sister. Ashley leaves the room. Oh, we have an ad coming in right now. Actually, in, like... Is it running already? Or is it running in a few seconds? Nemran completes the second layer of authentication and glances at the time. 3 minutes left until the scheduled time. The second hand lines up. Sorry about that. Just, yeah. Well, to be fair, that did actually bridge over the art perfectly. I just had someone in my room talking to me. The second hand lines up perfectly. Nemron initiates an encrypted communication. Hello, this is the SED chairwoman's office. This is the PA Friedrich speaking. Nemron hangs up immediately. Seconds later, the line rings again. Go on, Nemron. The call is now switched to encrypted line 39. Good. Do you have a message for the chairman? I have intelligence to report. The chairman is currently unavailable. Please relay the missions to me, and I'll pass it along at first opportunity. The preliminary preparations for the coronation storm are complete. Received. Anything else to forward? Laplace's experiment is nearing its end. We are about to move into the white zone. Please reserve sufficient space for us. Understood. Leave that to me. I'll send over the allocation shortly. Do the rest of the personnel require further arrangements? Nemron, that falls within your responsibilities. Understood. Then I'll end the call here. Wishing you the best, Nemron. As the call disconnects, Nemron feels oddly dazed, as though her various thoughts have been severed. She sighs softly. Pawns are meant to be discarded in the end. Without a second of hesitation, Mordor picks up the line. Mordor. I'm here, Father. Commence the mission immediately. The operation has begun. The call ends before she can reply. Yes, Father. She looks towards Nemron's office in the distance, where there's still no sign of activity. Mordor approaches Brammet. What now? Another change of plans? Let me guess. This time we're doing inventory of that pile of junk in the warehouse. Mordor scans the area again to make sure they're alone. She presses down on the nearest listening device and leans in close to Brammet's ear. If you want to survive, absolute loyalty to Father is your only hope. Father? Father is so far away when Sister Nemron is right here. Brammet glances towards the room where Nemron is staying, then at Mordor's hand pressed against the bug. She lowers her voice. You know you can't hide this kind of thing from Nemron, right? She's too busy keeping herself afloat to mess with me. Don't be so sure. You really think she's standing alone right now? What are you getting at? You suspected it too, didn't you? That there may be other senior Knights in Frankfurt. I've also heard whispers from Berlin. There's someone else inside Pandora. And she's on Sister Nemron's side. You want to bet on Nemron's hand? Oh no. Brammet flashes a charming smile. I'm not betting on anyone's hand. She gently pulls Mordor's hand off the listening device. So you'd better win me over. With a sway and a step, Brammet vanishes into the factory. Mordor follows coldly behind. Good evening. It's currently 18:30 Frankfurt time on November 3rd, and you're watching the news. One of the key leaders of the anti-relic organization Pandora and its official spokesperson, Styx, delivered a public statement today via a large screen setup outside the Alte Oper in Frankfurt. Since the Doll terrorist attack on Halloween, the Alte Oper has remained closed for repairs and restoration. Pandora deliberately chose this symbolic location as the backdrop for its address. Following this, Styx gave a nearly 40-minute-long speech. She issued a scathing critique on the neo-Soviet government, condemning their weakness in losing control over their own elite tactical doll squad known as Task Force Defy. The criticism is directly targeted at the still missing member of the squad, known by the codename AK-12. She claimed that the neo-Soviet regime had utilized relic technology in the doll's development process, which directly resulted in her going rogue. Styx further argued that the humanity has strayed too far from nature, and that continued obsession with this path of defiance will only bring about further retribution from nature itself. According to the footage sent in by our on-site correspondents, Styx's speech was met with widespread approval from the gathered onlookers, with some citizens even taking to the streets to publicly echo her statements. As of this broadcast, the Neo-Soviet government has yet to issue any official response. University of Mainz online forum. Speculation on the Neo-Soviet Union's use of relic technology. What impact might relic energy have on daily life? Exploring the possible changes in dolls after exposure to relic energy. Styx' speech is like a massive stone thrown into a frozen lake. Hairline cracks immediately begin to spiderweb outward. This is supposed to be a forum for academic discussion and campus life. What are all these ridiculous posts doing here? Constanza logs into her admin account and starts cleaning up the plague-like flood of posts. Guys, I think Styx is absolutely right. Dolls were functioning just fine before. Why would they suddenly go rogue and start a terrorist attack? It's clearly because one of them got infected with relic energy. Hello? Hang on. Let's try that again. Maybe it's got a infected. Yep, exactly. Clicking through until we get there again. Sorry. Come on. Very long cutscenes, by the way. Oh, well. Maps. Question mark. I would like to at least unlock the first combat map today. Bum bum. Bum bum. Okay, now I'm in the factory again. Almost there. Boop, 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 boop. Clicking through. Almost there. Now the news broadcast. Doop, doo, doo. And now the forum. Okay, maybe this is actually requiring me a restart. Hang on. Just gotta full-on restart the emulator. Got stuck again. Got stuck again. Doop-de-doo. Shoujo Zenzen. Mm.
了解。相当任務開始。
Now let's try that again. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Hmm. Also slower than me clicking through. Also less likely to miss something that I didn't see yet. Now the problem is with this being an up-to-date event and being released today, if this is a bug that doesn't allow me to view the end of the cutscene, there's nowhere I can go to view it instead. Like, we have had this issue before with one old cutscene in an older event that got broken with an update at some point. But because it was an old event, I could go back and look it up online. I don't think I can do that this time. Bum ba da da dum bum 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 bum. Do do do. Now we're here again. Yeah, bullshit has done one for clearing out level 5 reserves. Yeah, the problem with the factory is that you're gonna have to deal with the big man every once in a while. Bunch of scraps though. Lucky. Have you gotten any so far, by the way? News broadcast again. Nope. Hmm. That's unlucky. Because when I was trying to do the office kill quests, I got it accidentally done like 3 raids. Okay. I'm gonna wait this time and not click. Maybe it'll work. No. Okay, I think this one's just broken. Let me see. Now, wouldn't it be great if somehow there is a potential possibility. Nope. Isolation Forest is untranslated as so far. Huh. Unfortunate. Just running up into the office, chucking a walk into the box, looting this office area, chucking another walk into the box and leaving. You might need to wait a minute, but I'm not sure. I'm going to quickly use the bathroom. In the meantime, I know that the last ad has not been long ago, but I'll play another ad. Also, we can't view this cutscene. It is not possible. Yeah. Unless I can somehow Nope, it's not in here yet. Got 3 RPGs. Neat. Anyway, I will be right back. Yeah. I'll take a peek into the Tarkov channel. If you mean the floating RPG, it's already been shown to me. I'm sorry. Doing something. Goodbye the 1.5 second nades. There we go. But yeah, I can't really go through the rest of this chapter, which is unfortunate. It is broken. Broken. So unfortunately, we just have to move on for now. Possible drop starts the combat mission. It's a choice quest for you to upscale for M32 and 6 of Region 8. Or... Now I have absolutely no context for what we're doing here. Let's pick up a supply box and bring it to the radar node. Do we have one that's available, or do we just... Oh, so you probably need to... okay. Please note that echelons cannot move into nodes that are occupied by supplies or miscellaneous items. They can pick up the supplies or clear up a node, but each echelon can only carry one stack of supplies or item. Okay. Huh? There's already supplies there. Scales quest of 1 partisan and 10 PMCs, Jaegers 3 kills with Spicy at once. Well then. I'm gonna guess that you first have to do the RPG quest though, don't, or like, the thingy. Nope. Never mind. Okay. Get explosion, what do you mean? Rescue to retrieve a minimum of 1 connected door. Okay. The music is a little creepy. I'm gonna rescue this one first. RPG's back plus. Thank fuck. That's really funny though. I can't wait to kill someone with it. That's a spicy squad. Oh, it's been a long time since I last had a call that lasted this long and been this annoying. Rescue this one. Now we need to bring this one to an open heliport, which is down there. Either of these. Or maybe both. Breakthrough. There's got to be plenty of enemies that we probably don't want to engage. I would guess that there's probably an achievement for rescuing both. I would guess. Ro being in the background is weird. But, you know. Shotgun to the front line is not weird. Well, they're both equally far away from the place I need to go. Also, the A18 squad is constantly being full resupply, so, you know, that's nice. I can have them fight all of the small fry. And not have to worry about them. The big ones, though, I probably want to run into with my big squad. If they even meant to be killed. Not sure about that. I still have no context for this, which is a little bit annoying, but, you know... I don't know how much of the cutscene I was actually missing. That is something I'm actually curious about, and you know what, I'm gonna quickly... that's not it. Hang on a second, this is translated. So, one moment. How much am I missing? This isn't great, this isn't ideal, but... this is translated. So I can gather myself some context. And there's a good chunk missing that I haven't seen yet. There is a good chunk we haven't seen. Yeah, okay. One second, I'm gonna mute the game real quick. Because, like, I was really confused about why the fuck we're collecting supplies all of a sudden. The fact that there's a TXT is not that great. Meow. I'm just gonna move this. It's faster. Because... Isolation Forest. Oh, that's different. That's wrong. This is not ideal. But... I can zoom in. This is not really getting bigger, is it? No, it sort of is. Just have to go very far zoomed in. So we want to be here. Now I'm going to scroll down to the point where it broke. Meow. Because otherwise this is gonna just very annoying because there is a large chunk of the chapter just not possible to be played. That's loud. That was very loud. And no pause button. The pause button is not the problem, the volume was. I think we want to zoom a slight bit out. So we've seen this. This is probably the problem. this right here. Because it doesn't have the proper color. Like, it's supposed to give it this color, but instead it's this, and then... That's where it breaks. I'm guessing that this is currently just being transcribed, like, actively being pulled in, transcribed. You also mentioning just fine before. Why would they suddenly go rogue and start terrorist attacks? Clearly because one of them got infected with relic energy. Then it spread like a virus to the others. That's why I'm in this mess. Easy to spread rumors, hard to debunk them. Have you even read Professor Persica's article debunking all of this? Dr. Shaw, the designer of the Defy Dolls, published her research long ago. All the papers are public. She's a staunch anti-relic scientist. Why would she ever infuse her life's work with the very thing she posts? Yeah, not to mention Dr. Shaw's elder sister was a part of Pandora, right? No way she'd secretly use relic tech. Constanza selects this batch of overly active users and mutes them temporarily. I don't care what any of you say. I'm standing with Violet Sticks no matter what. She's just so gorgeous in that body. Wow. Only she could be my wife. The loop is not very clean. It's the virus. Yep, clearly. Resisting the urge to roll eyes, Constanza promptly bans this user. Get lost, Perf. This is an academic forum. Go be horny somewhere else. As for Styx' accusations about the Defy Doll AK-12 being a product of relic tech, there's no solid evidence so far. I lean toward this being just a personal speculation. Also, let me just actually quickly check something. Is this properly framed on... Yes, it is properly framed on screen. Very good. The virus thing when I crashed the generator. I'm guessing that HTML formatting mistake is probably the reason why the chat is just stuck. It's trying to load the color, but it's not formatted correctly, so it's just... On the other hand, I find Professor Persica's published rebuttal and technical proofs credible. Anyone who's ever written a thesis knows how painful the process is. You can't fake your intent or your bias in that process. And I could totally see Dr. Shaw's hatred for the relic bleeding through in her work. If it really is all nonsense, then why hasn't the Neo-Soviet government said a word? Shouldn't they be jumping in immediately to denounce the defamation? Maybe there really is something they can't admit. There is, but it's not this. Because it's not that they can't admit that AK-12s used relic technology, but they can't admit that they assassinated Dr. Shaw. Hard to say. Even if they didn't use relic tech, the Neo-Soviets probably resorted to some other shady methods. Otherwise, why were they also the first to go rogue? Look at us, our dolls are still behaving just fine. The endless flood of discussions drowns out every single subforum. Constanza scrolls through these threads with a deepening frown. She's given up on deleting posts and banning users. Now she's just concerned about the state of the academic illiteracy among her peers. Hopefully none of my underclassmen are involved in this mess. And if they are, I pray to God they've already finished these their thesis proposals. Otherwise I'm gonna get stuck cleaning up after them all weekend again. Scene change. Hello? I guess this one doesn't work. Sick. Shutting down the campus forum with a groan, Constanza stands and stretches. Time to tidy up the lab. All this equipment lying around and a thick layer of dust. If Nayla sees this, she's gonna have a meltdown. She picks up a brush ready to start cleaning. That's when she notices Nayla standing silently in the doorway. Her hair and coat are soaking wet, as if she's walked here through the rain. Nayla? When did you get here? Why are you just standing there like that? You're soaked. Let me grab your towel. Nayla takes the towel absentmindedly, her eyes fixed on Constanza as though she's made some kind of decision. Connie, there's something I have to confess to you. What is it? The truth about the experiment. In the temporary ops room, after erasing all traces of the commander's plan, AI-18 turns to the dolls beside her. Everyone, before we officially launch the plan, we need to relocate personnel. All wounded dolls and 416 must be transferred to a secondary base with higher security, while combat-capable personnel will follow me to the new temporary base. At the same time, all evidence here must be wiped clean. Understood? Roger that. Where's Squad 404 gone? They're supposed to handle 416 transfer, right? Yes, that's how I arranged it. Then we'll take care of 4 false communications gear. Stevens M520 gestures at the dolls behind her. Sure, I'll go check the equipment list. I've already sorted most of it. What's over here? A18 moves past the dolls, busy with the organized chaos of cleanup and steps to the side. 45, where are you? Come to the ops room immediately. Psst, there's noticeable static interference in the transmission. 45. I'm right here? Where exactly are you? I'm right beside you. Something wrong. 45 signals off. She says she's right here. What kind of creepy nonsense is she saying? Taking 18's communicator, Ro tries speaking to UMP 45. 45? I am... Teehee. An eerie giggle snaps everyone to attention. Wait, that's not 45 signal! 18 cuts the transmission immediately. Almost at the same moment, the alarm starts blaring. The enemy's already infiltrated. I'll cover the retreat. I'm going to. 18, organize the defense. Right. 18 turns to the surveillance footage. On the screen, a graceful, poised woman waves at the camera. Greetings. It's terribly rude of me to be taking your lives in the first meeting, isn't it? I do beg your pardon. Now that is what we were missing. And that's what leads to this here battle where we're gathering the supplies as we're fucking ditching. I can also bring this back up to par. This music is creepy. What enemies are in this group, anyway? A bunch of enemies with force fields. Now, this might be a mistake, but I want to try breaking straight through. They have my strength. They do have force fields, though. If they have strong force fields, this is going to be horribly, horribly going wrong. However, they're not strong force fields. But enter factory with nothing but an ISH-12 and pocket full of grenades and 12-7 bullets. A thing to notice, Bakasura, I do not believe that this is an event. This is a permanent fixture to the quest lines. So, there's no real need or reason to rush it. God be with you. But we're going... God won't save us. What way around are you going? Are you just going left to right? Okay, that's fine. You can wait here. Actually, 1, 2, that's gonna fix... No, I'm gonna wait a turn. There's a reason. I mean, yeah, but... You don't need to rush it for that. Doesn't need to get rid of all the intel items and valuables to keep getting out. That's fair. So let's end the turn here. Reason being, I want to get that hostage out, and I want to see if that's an achievement for getting both of them out. Because there probably is. There should be. If there isn't, I'd be disappointed. But I want funny. Fair. Retrieval complete. Now we end the turn, capture the radar, and... see. Also want to decorate my heart with flying RPGs. That's a lot of things unlocking at the same time, but we got the farming mission, so that's good. But what the fuck is going on here? Oh! First of all, I know who that is. You shouldn't be here. Second of all, that's another one of the reminiscent. Yeah, there's an achievement. Let's go. Hey, Lady Kasumi, how you doing? Fucking knew it. So let's go one more chapter into the storyline, and then I'm probably gonna switch to something else. Probably let it. You can probably hear it. It's a little bit better than yesterday, but still sick. Late at night in Nayla's room. Nayla's fast asleep. She rolls over in bed, pulling the duvet tighter around herself. Wrapped in its cocoon of warmth and coziness, she mutters softly in her dreams. Time to enroll in my courses for the semester. The system is freezing again. Didn't manage to get onto Professor Gray's. It's not anti-technology, there's no P in the name. Yeah, fun fact, for everyone that doesn't know this. RPG originally did not stand for rocket-propelled grenade. It stands for something entirely different in Russian, which essentially just means anti-tank rocket. Or something like that. It's just been dubbed rocket-propelled grenade because it works. There. In the corridor of the lecture hall building in Heidelberg University. God damn it, 1 second. Way. My nose is very stuffy. It's annoying. Racing footsteps thunder down the hallway, accompanied by harsh panting. Thank you for the headbuds. Nayla runs the corner in a full sprint. Made it with 5 minutes to spare. Thank goodness I didn't miss Professor Gray's lecture. Nayla's joy freezes on her face before it can last a full second. The hallway that's usually quiet and empty is now packed with people. They're craning their necks, or raising phones above their heads to record the inside the lecture room. Clearly, they're all here for the rare open lecture given by Professor Gray. How come I'm still stuck in the hallway even though I came half an hour before the lecture scheduled to begin? You really don't know how popular Professor Gray is? In med school, her courses are always the first ones everyone rushes in to grab each semester. Google says, Ruchnoi... I don't know how to say that. I'm not even going to attempt. And word is she'll be talking about how she writes the papers. Seriously, a lifesaver. I've got zero clue where to start mine. Papers? You mean the ones she just published on Functional Brain Network in Autism? Oh, no wonder this lecture's still titled the same. Clearly aren't worried about your paper. Then give me your spot, thanks. Hey, what's your problem? Why are you shoving? The tightly packed wall of bodies ripples. Just as Nayla is growing desperate, a narrow path opens up before her. Excuse me, excuse me. Who's that? Who's pushing me? Don't play dumb, you're the one pushing me. Holding a backpack protectively over her vital organs, Nayla plunges into the chaos. Like a sturgeon swimming upstream, she fights her way through the tide and rocks. Stop pushing, you're about to... Excuse me, excuse me. These words become almost an incantation. Once spoken, they part the crowd like magic, opening a clear path. Light spills through the outlines of a few students ahead. Nayla knows she's almost there. Excuse me. Dodging the last few obstacles with finesse, Nayla finally breaks through. Her view clears instantly. You alright there? I'm fine. I'm sorry, Professor Gray. Sign in first. A Gray signal, her assistant walks over with a sign-in sheet. Please find your name and sign next to it. Actually, I didn't manage to enroll in this course. I just came to sit in unofficially. Whispers start to ripple through the seated students. That's fine. Due to the size of the lecture room, the open lecture has limited registration. I know many students weren't able to get a spot, but still came. The lecture is going to be long, so later I'll have my assistants hand out seat cushions to anyone without a seat. You as well. Please register your name and major with my assistant. Alright. Handheld anti-tank grenade launcher. I see. I'm Cornelia, a freshman in applied physics. Even though Naylor tries to keep her voice low, grumbling erupts from the seat of the crowd. Applied physics? What are you doing crashing a med school class? Exactly, even us own classmates can't get seats, and here you outsiders come barging in. Gray raises her hands, motioning for silence. Everyone, please quiet down. Then the murmurs stop at once. This new course of mine, Functional Brain Networks and ASD, is an open lecture for the entire university. Students from any department are welcome to attend if they're interested. Cornelia, please take a seat with that cushion. Thank you. Bowing her head, Naylor finds a patch of floor near the front rows and quickly sits down. Come to think of it, I've had a long connection with the Department of Applied Physics. Back when I was a student, I met a senior from that department. People say talent and hard work rarely come in the same person, but she was the exception. Even to this day, I've never met anyone more gifted and determined than her. While I was still lost about my future, she had already made an extraordinary choice to give up everything she had achieved in her original major and cross into a brand new field. Let me give an example. You can understand. Gray taps on a student's desk in the front row. What's your major? Clinical medicine. If I asked you to switch to nuclear physics right now, do you think you could turn in a midterm paper? That's impossible. It's way too far removed from my current discipline. That's how a normal person would respond, right? But the senior of mine, in under 2 years, she had absorbed everything a doctor or student in medicine is expected to know. She could talk to me fluently about the future of human medicine. She even published 3 SCI papers in her spare time. Whoa. We're still very close. Even though we live far apart now, we still exchange letters and share academic progress. I specifically remember who this is, and I fucking hate it. But that's not why I mentioned that today. Huh? I met her at a time when I felt lost and uncertain about my future. I grew up in an ordinary family in Berlin, and in a world where class and access to resources are so rigid, the road to education and advancement was anything but smooth. At the time, academia was rife with gatekeeping. The gap between studying medicine and becoming a doctor was immense. Coming from a family of doctors was almost a requirement. If your family had any clout in the medical field, your academic path would be guaranteed smooth sailing. I loved the subject, but I had no background, so whether it was project experience or further studies, I had no doors to knock on. It was that senior in applied physics who brought me into a world-class research project, and she invited me, someone with no background at all. That project's name was alone was enough to open the doors to any hospital. She told me, Gray, I believe in your talent and potential more than anyone. Come, stand by my side. You'll be indispensable to the field of medicine. Just your presence will influence an entire generation. People often ask me why I still bother with public lectures at this level. Why I waste time grading graduate papers when I already have my own lab, but even now, I still keep 4 weekly teaching clinic shifts. I want to give newcomers a chance, the way that seniors gave me a chance. Or that senior gave me a chance. That's my answer. My lab is open for applications to everyone. If you're interested in interning, you can speak to my assistant afterward. I don't care whether you live in a luxury home in Frankfurt or a little cottage in rural Bavaria. Thank you for the ad patch. As long as you have a passion for medicine, as long as your dream is to heal people, then we are companions. All previous gripes forgotten, the students burst into unified applause. Now then, let's begin the lecture. Gray finishes presenting the final slide. On the screen, several children with autism gather around her, smiling shyly at the camera. That concludes today's lecture. I hope everyone gained something valuable. Gray bows. The audience erupts into thunderous applause. Nayla feels tears welling up an eye. Gray's professionalism, combined with the gentle patience he shows toward people with autism, leaves Nayla deeply moved. We now have 5 minutes of Q&A. If anyone has any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Perhaps still caught up in the emotion, the students remain respectfully quiet. The questions don't have to be limited to today's topic. If you have other academic concerns, I'm also happy to address them. Nayla's the first to raise their hands. Professor Gray, I've read your recent papers in the journals you recommended. I've noticed your interest in the connection between doll technology and human neurology. So I wanted to ask, if dolls were someday to possess independent consciousness, emotions, and self-awareness based on the human neural network, what kind of impact do you think that would have on human society? That's a brilliant question. It's true that I've recently been working in that area. However, the field is vast, and there has been little progress in the subject of my interests so far. As for the impact on such technology might have if it truly comes to fruition... She pauses for a few seconds. Even I can't say whether it will be a boon or a curse to humanity. Just as when Turner first isolated morphine, intending to use it as a painkiller, he certainly never imagined what humanity would eventually do with it. Are you saying technology itself is innocent? What I mean is that the development of science always surpasses human imagination. We, limited by the time we live in, cannot foresee the future. What we can do is commit ourselves fully to what we believe in is right, in the present. What we believe in is right, but how do we know if our choices are right? Like the senior you mentioned earlier, she made the choice to switch fields, and because she succeeded, we now call it the right choice. But for ordinary people like us, how do we know if something is truly right? It's not that we choose something because it's right. It's because it becomes right because we choose it. So, no matter what we choose, we have to do our best to make it right. Indeed. Thank you, Professor Gray. Nayla reflects on her words as she sits down. Back then, she doesn't yet fully grasp what Professor Gray means. After the Q&A session, Gray picks up a pin badge from the table. That wraps up today's class. Before you leave, I'd like to give you all a small gift. This gift is also related to the question asked by the last student. Sorry. No matter what path you take in the future, you will undoubtedly encounter dark temptations. This has nothing to do with your own morality. It's simply because this world always holds both light and shadow. The badge in her hand catches the overhead lights. When darkness knocks on your window, remember, you are here to change the world, not to be changed by it. I hope this badge can serve as a small reminder during your moments of confusion. Wow. The students, full of enthusiasm, rush up to the podium crowding around Gray's teaching assistant until he completely vanishes from view. Nayla hesitates, and in the end she decides against taking a badge for herself. She's just an outsider from the Department of Physics sneaking into a medical course. It doesn't feel right to take something that isn't meant for her. Schaefer? Nayla looks up in surprise. Something flies towards her. She catches it up, reflects. It's a badge. Professor Gray. Nayla wants to thank her, but Gray has already disappeared among the sea of students. The shrill sound of an alarm clock jolts Nayla awake. The dream hasn't completely faded. She stares down at her empty palm, then jumps out of bed. The badge! She tears through the drawers and shelves in a frenzy. Eventually she finds it, tucked inside the box where she keeps her graduation photos. The badge looks exactly the same as it did, but the Professor Gray from back then... A wave of pain seizes her chest. Nayla finds it hard to breathe. Like a broken glass pipette, drops of tears start rolling down her face. That's not the time to cry. To distract herself, Nayla wipes away the tears and rushes into the kitchen. pile of food and arms, Nayla practically kicks open the door to the storage room where Jay is being held. Agent Jay, time to eat. Jay groggily pulls himself up from the floor and glances at the clock on the wall. Jeez, it's 3:40 in the morning. What kind of meal is this supposed to be, huh? You don't want it? From Nayla's cold tone, red-rimmed eyes, and the faint smell of alcohol, Jay decides this is not a good time to provoke her. Fine, I'll eat. Jay carefully watches the expression while unpacking the food she's brought. What's the matter with you? Nothing. Did the commander piss you off? Hey, that's just how they are. Cold as ice, always ignoring messages, making you sick with worry and furious with them. No, the commander's helped me a lot, and replies to my messages pretty quickly, actually. Then what's bothering you? It's just... I've decided to do the right thing. The right thing? Yeah. My teacher taught me to do what's right. Whatever. I can already tell you don't plan on elaborating. Then tell me about this teacher of yours. Did she treat you to lunch often? Not really. People who offer you food out of nowhere are usually up to something, don't you think? In a way, you're damn right. But back to your teacher. I first learned of it through a paper, a discussion of the medical prefrontal cortex and its impact on ASD. Probably heard of it. It's quite renowned. Actually, he probably hasn't. Although, back then, I thought the research prospects in the superior temporal sulcus were much more promising. Hold up, what was the last part in the human, even in the human language? What do you mean? Anyway, I had that belief that at the time, popular studies showed that in typical developing populations, the grey matter volume of the superior temporal sulcus was related to a person's mentalizing ability. But soon I realized I was completely wrong. My teacher's lab published a paper showing, through structured MRI, that no such correlation exists in ASD individuals. Okay, that just sounds like plain gibberish to me. Nayla downs a beer and cracks open another can. Don't worry, I'll explain slowly. Let me start with a breakdown of that paper. As Nayla lays out over a dozen research articles with practiced ease, Jay realizes he's about to be dragged into a hell that feels like back-to-back meetings with no end in sight. Having found some calm through analyzing the research, Nayla finally leaves Jay alone and makes her way to the lab. She opens a comm line to the commander. Commander, it's me. I'm listening. Starting tomorrow, no, today, I'll officially begin the experiment on Professor Gray. I'll ask you one more time. Are you sure about this? Yes. Please help me get in touch with Professor Persica. I need her help. Alright, I'll let her know and have her contact you. Sorry to disturb you. No problem at all. After ending the call, the grief finally begins to overflow. Holding the badge in her hands, Nayla sits silently beside Gray. Professor, am I walking the right path now? In the deathly silent room, the hum of the air conditioner is the only response. I followed you for years, from applied physics to clinical medicine, but couldn't even tell when you were replaced. Nayla lets out a dry, bitter laugh. The badge in her hand reflects the sterile white light of the room. If you knew what I'm about to do to you, would you still have helped me so kindly back then? As Nayla sits motionless in her chair, she can almost hear the faint sounds of a lab coat shifting. Just like in the Professor's lab, when she was focused on an experiment, Professor Gray would sneak up quietly from behind her to check on her progress, only to be betrayed by the subtle rustle of her coat. She's always associated that sound with Professor Gray's gentle attentiveness. What we can do is to firmly carry out what we believe is right. Once again, Nayla feels Professor Gray's warm hand wrap around her own. Nayla unzips the body bag. The first thing she sees is Gray's hand resting on her abdomen. Slender, pale, and once the very hand that gently lifted her up. Sadly, the warmth is gone, replaced by merciless cold. That's a Suji, yeah. Facing the recording device on the table, Neda speaks calmly. She's attached the pin to her. Time is 4:45 on November 4th. This video is a record for the upcoming experiments. The autopsy will be conducted by Cornelia Schaefer. She wipes the grime from Graham's body with a sterile cotton pads, taking care to be as gentle as possible. Initial cleanings complete. I will now examine the modified parts in Professor Gray's body. Starting from Gray's head, Naylor carefully parts her hair, searching for surgical traces. Confirmed craniotomy scars. Specific procedures unclear at this point. She moves to the neck, shoulders and arms, then gently lifts Gray's hand. The left arm is missing. The right hand has been modified, with incision between the middle and ring fingers. The lab door opens. Naylor looks up in surprise. Connie. Constanze, already changed into surgical scrubs, silently looks at Gray on the table, then at Naylor's bloodshot eyes. I thought you wouldn't come. With a sudden change in your plan, the experiment might not be finished in time, even with 2 people working on it without sleep. Constanze sets down her bag and puts on a lab coat. Besides, if I don't help you, who else will? Thank you, Connie. Constanze smoothly takes over the task of recording. Still don't understand why you want to do this, but I know you believe you're doing the right thing. And you've always been stubborn mule when it comes to your principles. Enough talk. Let's get to work. The prospect of doing lab work together with Connie hits Naylor with a strong sense of nostalgia. Finally, she allows herself a small, genuine smile. Okay. As the 2 of them dive into their preparations, dawn begins to seep into the night, revealing the silhouette of the hidden sun. One more? One more. Oh, yes. Ah. Brr. One more. Come on. One chapter. What's the worst that could happen? Inside the bar at the Stasi HQ of Wiesbaden district, the server bows respectfully and leads the guest into a secluded box. 2 non-alcoholic Negronis, please. Yes, ma'am. The server soon returns with 2 glasses filled with pink liquid. After putting down the drinks, he leaves the box in silence. Now that they will no longer be disturbed, Romy picks up a glass and gives it a swirl. I hope my order's to your taste, Colonel Felix. Non-alcoholic Negroni? Exactly what I'd expect you to order, Pro Romy. You did say once that you'd like to keep your work and recreation separate, and that you don't drink on the job. So I'm still on the job right now? I'm guessing you don't like any of the bars in the Wiesbaden district. Especially once so close to the White Zone. This is practically a staff's canteen. Since we're having a meeting at what's basically a workplace, we're on the job. But at your rank, are you ever not on the job? You're just like General Riefenstahl. So thoughtful and always on top of things. Speaking of which, how's the General been doing lately? My father's in pretty good shape. He's taking to going on walks and fishing since he retired. Apart from some old injuries, he's doing great. That's very good to hear. With a daughter like you, I'm sure the General's nothing much to worry about. What about you, Colonel? Is there anything that troubles you? I just have to keep the Hugo Eberlein Guard Regiment in check. Other than that, there's nothing else for me to worry about. No wonder they say. General Schweinsteiger isn't the foundation, and you the sturdiest chunk of the granite on that foundation. The Eberlein Guard regiments remain loyal to the Socialist Unity Party, and we accept the leadership of every party chairman. I suppose I'm not the first to have heard this. You're obviously not the first to have asked me that question, nor will you be the last. And no matter who comes asking, my answer will always be the same. If the party ever falls apart, even if the party falls apart, well, Romy, what I'm about to say may sound a bit blunt, but I speak from the heart. I am a natural-born soldier, not a natural-born politician. When the party is in disarray, the Eberline Guard Regiment is the best to hold the sword. When the party falls apart, we are the empty crown. You promised General Riefenstahl that you would no longer get involved with military affairs after entering civil service. I'm still keeping this promise. Right now, you're talking to Romy Riefenstahl, Director of the Ministry for the State Security, not the daughter of Heinz Riefenstahl. Now, what I want to discuss with you is not just the affairs of the SED. It has become a national issue concerning the German Democratic Republic itself. Regarding the progress of the UNC, I think you and I both are clear that no one can stop the history from unfolding. Just like slavery, no matter how prominent one once was, it is destined to be left behind in the march of history. I have the right to remain silent on this matter. You should understand that if we join this melee, it won't bring clarity to the situation, only further escalation and destruction. War is in your interest. For you, it's a bargaining chip. But for us, war is only about advancing in death. We cannot stop the war, so we retain the right to sheath our swords. I am not a fanatical warmonger. But you have a strong thirst for power. Someone with no desire for power wouldn't be the commander of the Hugo Eberlein Guard Regiment. You seem to be implying that you were forced into this position. But in fact, you know full well that sometimes when you're put in a certain position, the best thing to do is to accumulate enough strength and power to be worthy of that position. It is a cliff with no way down. Either you climb, or you die. Sorry, I'm not a bureaucrat, and I don't have the gift of eloquence for negotiations. Felix drains the content of his glass, then he turns the vessel upside down to show that he hasn't left a single drop. Looks like I finished my drink. Felix rises to his feet and bows slightly in apology. The frame around the large oil painting hanging on the wall behind him suddenly lifts up. With a soft mechanical hum, the frame swings off the wall. Felix slowly pulls the frame all the way open, revealing an intricately constructed room. A man is sitting inside, drinking on his own. Secretary Gauss! Felix slowly returns to his seat. The man in the hidden chamber stands up and walks over to join them with a smile. Romy makes her way to the entrance of the box and gestures towards a server in the distance. 3 Negronis, please. 3 glasses of pink liquid smelling strongly of alcohol are soon served. Romy picks up a glass with a smile. What's the rush, Colonel Felix? I believe we're just getting started. Romy's office. Hoffman checks if all relevant personnel has received and read the notice. Across the table, Q is leisurely sipping her coffee. The justifications, specific measures, and inspection methods for strengthening the security within the wide zone are all clearly stated. Even the template and procedure for bilateral reporting of the new measures are highlighted, as expected of Hoffman. In the past, we only need to report the access list of to the garrison, but there was still plenty of screw-ups. Now we need to report to both the Stasi and the garrison at the same time. I can't imagine how many mistakes there will be. You can't be too meticulous. What about you? Any progress on your end? Hard to say. If your job is to publish a chemistry textbook, then mine is to get students to break down the table salt into sodium ions. You could consider using some catalysts. Believe me, I've been pouring the stuff in already, but I worked too closely with them in the past. It's kind of difficult to get dirt in them without showing up as a turncoat witness, you know? That's why this task was given to you. Q puts on a coffee and sits up straight. So you really haven't heard anything about Project Valkyrie? Has it really been scrubbed clean? All we know from public knowledge is that it's related to the wife and daughter of Oberstein, the incumbent Minister of Industry and Information Technology, Vice President of the State Council. As for the specific reports, you can read it for yourself. Practically everyone who knows anything about this has gone to Antarctica with the Relics Agency. The information we have could be entirely false. Sometimes what we need isn't factual information, but useful information. Thanks for the tip. After tidying up the documents scattered all over her desk, Q gets up to leave. What about Jace's disappearance? Is it really no big deal? Since no body has been found, someone will eventually come knocking. Don't worry, getting rid of bodies has always been a complicated craft. Do you think he may have gone back to his hometown? I've been hearing him muttering something about selling pork knuckles back at home. Deathman, thank you for making me laugh for 3 seconds straight, even as I get crushed under a mountain of work. In the temporary command room. A call request from an encrypted comms channel. Commander, it's the Earl. After keeping the communicator on hold for a few more seconds, the commander nods and gestures for the call to be answered. Earl, I believe the last time we spoke we still had an ideal mentor-mentee relationship. I once had a lot of respect for you. Respect, which implies looking up to me. Now you have matured to a point where we can speak on equal terms. You've met whom you wanted to. I'm not getting in touch because I need you. Quite the contrary. Thank you for the headbutts, Leo. Right now, you need me. I hope ambitious young people can walk a bright and promising path, not rush into the white zone and spark a violent commotion. Your current situation is no better than when you were trapped in the black zone. If anything, it's worse. But even so, I'm still willing to offer you help, just as I did in Avernus. It's good for young people to have their own ideas. I know you don't agree with some of my decisions, but I've already made significant concessions. I know I shouldn't try to keep an eagle bound under my protection. I only need to wait. Wait for the day when the weary bird returns to its nest. And you believe the time has come. There are no eternal enemies, Commander. Only eternal interests. What we went through was merely a small internal conflict. It wasn't fatal. Our interests are bound together, and our positions are aligned. No matter what happens, G&K stands behind you. That holds true for you, for Kruger, and for me. Then what's the plan this time? I sent you from the Neo-Soviet Union to Berlin because of Morodo. Yes, and this mission has revealed to me a glimpse of the real world. Young people are always so full of curiosity. Will you tell me the truth? No, you must unearth it and find it out for yourself. That way, you will find it easier to accept. If you wish to find out William's true identity and what he intends to do, you must first get to the bottom of one thing. Project Valkyrie. Maybe I don't even care about the whys and whats anymore. I just think he needs to pay for everything he's done. The choice is ultimately yours. If you want to learn the truth, investigating this is the only way. If you want to eliminate him, then I can offer you one last bit of help. Romy and I aren't exactly close, but the Stasi's already taken one step towards us. Given your current situation, it would benefit you greatly if you could secure the Stasi's cooperation. Thank you, Earl. Finally, some genuine words from you. The Earl terminates the call. After pondering for a moment in silence, the commander turns to A18. A18, if you're asking for my opinion, I think you need more information. To take on an enemy, you must have a comprehensive understanding of him. But this is most certainly a trap. He would never have contacted me if this wouldn't benefit him in some way. Perhaps you should think of it from another perspective. Instead of worrying about how this would benefit him, consider what you want to accomplish and whether this would help. What do I want to accomplish? The commander unconsciously drums their fingers on the desk. The chaotic rhythm betrays their knees. In the very beginning, all I wanted to do was to expel Sanger's ferry forces so that Griffin Base could operate in a safe and stable environment. Then I wanted to save the AR team. I wanted to save Maclean. I wanted to save Angie. But now, even I don't know what I want to accomplish. I seem to have been stuck in a quagmire for so long, I no longer remember the days before I stepped into it, and I can't recall where I'm supposed to be headed. I've led one operation after another, always thinking that the next one would finally reveal the whole truth. But with each answer, new mysteries emerge and end the cycle as if they'll never be solved. I understand how exhausting it must feel, Commander. But hesitation and doubts are the last thing you can afford on the battlefield. Now is not the time to waver. I know. Maybe I'm just feeling fearful because I'm hitting closer and closer to home. I know the truth is about to be uncovered, yet somehow I started to feel afraid. A18 walks up to the commander and points at the monitor in front of them. You have some shoulders to lean on. Don't carry all the weight alone. These shoulders that I can lean on are also weaknesses that can be exploited. You should think more of yourself. You're right. Rather than worrying about others, I really should focus more on myself. What am I really after on this trip to Germany? Who am I fighting for? What am I fighting for? It may take you a lifetime to find the answers. Indeed. The commander gets to their feet and pats their own tired cheeks. I may feel lost and conflicted, but I will not stop moving forward. 18. Escort me to Naylor's residence. Yes, Commander. In Naylor's rented flat. Jay looks as fatigued as the Commander. They stare at each other in silence. Finally remember you have to deal with me, eh, Commander? How are you going to do this then? Griffin's way or Statesec's way? There's no need for this game of probing between us. I'll cut straight to the chase. I need you to help me contact Miss Romy. You think you've got the bargaining chip to negotiate with Romy? You have no idea what you're dealing with. And she isn't the only terrifying woman in the Stasi. I would like to make a deal, not a declaration of war. You're just an ordinary PMC, Commander. Romy is backed by the Socialist Unity Party and the German Democratic Republic. To put it plainly, the final boss that you want to fight, the mastermind behind the Paradise, is also part of the Socialist Unity Party. No matter how confident you are in your plan, I urge you to just give up. No. When Miss Romy handed Task Force to 5 neurocores over to me, I knew we would work together again. If I remember correctly, hadn't she already helped you back in Avernus? Is it not clear enough? She can't openly antagonize him. He is the vice chairman of the Social Unity Party, someone who sits in the first 3 rows. When I first saw Miss Romy at Paradeus underground plant that time, I can immediately tell that she is an ambitious person. There's no way she'd be satisfied with her current position. That's why I want to take a gamble. Have you gone mad? This is what I must do for a small fry like me to survive at the table. I am willing to bet that when that comes to dealing with Paradeus, Miss Romy will take my side. You must have found out already that back then, the Stasi was involved in those 2 production chains. Which is why I must speak to Miss Romy directly. Her path upwards allows for no room for mistakes, and this is the perfect time to clean up that mess properly. The commander tosses a communicator to Jay. I just hope you know what you're doing. I've never been more clear-headed. I have a plan, one that will not allow you to return to the Stasi without issue, but also help you clean up the shady dealings between your people and Paradeus. And most importantly, I'm going to cut off one of Paradeus' arms and sabotage Project Cocoon. After a brief moment of hesitation, Jay raises the communicator. I'm going all in with you. Even though I barely have anything left, you better be making the right call. However, for the sake of my own voice, this is where I shall stop the GFL segment for the day. Also, yes, this is in fact, well, the Neo-Soviet Union. It's not actually communism, though. It's just the name. It very much is still parties and everything. And a lot of militaries trying to rise up the power. GFL is a wild ride. Motherfuckers have been chilling behind the cube. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Did you get them, though? Yeah. Wait. Oh. Hey, Graham, how are you doing? Let me give you a shout out. How are you doing and what were you up to? and welcome to This Wolf Still Has a Cold. The thrill of the fight. It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight rising up. Stabbed at least 2 with a revolver. Had no nades left though. Shame. Hope you had a good time with your stream. And for the people that came over from Graham, hi, I'm TB. I play video games. Most often I'm not sick as today, but here I am. Also, most video games that I play are military related, and some are not. Failing hard in VR boxing. Oh boy. It's been a long time since I last played VR games. Long time. 3, 4 years? I'm pretty sure that my VR headset still works though. Maybe I should grab that again. We are just now switching over to a different game as my voice will probably not support me reading more and more story for very long. As you can hear, I still have a cold. I've mentioned this like 3 times already. That might be stupid.